Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anzar Saqib on CxO Global Forum. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge sharing platform for all C levels across the globe. We take massive pride in contributing to the knowledge economy with our league of key stakeholders who are not only domain experts but thought leaders who have made a considerable amount of difference in the field that they're working in. Today, as well, we've got a very special guest. His name is Mr. Imran Khan. He's the MD at RapidCompute. Thank you, Mr. Imran Khan, for joining us.
Thank you, Anza, for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Sir, you've got a very politically correct name.
I've got a name for the times, that's for sure.
So, but just want to know a little. Absolutely, absolutely. But you have a very special name, mashallah. But what about your journey? Was it as special as your namesake? Where did it begin? How did you end up becoming the MD of Rapid Compute?
Okay, thank you for that question. So, first of all, I'd like to share that this month we actually celebrate a decade in existence. So, Rapid Compute has been around for 10 years, mashallah, in Pakistan. And this month we celebrate our 10th anniversary, and we'll officially be rolling out the celebration as well. But अगर मैं आपको थोड़ा journey के बारे में बताऊं, so Rapid Compute started off as an idea back in 2010. All of us used to be working in different capacities at Cybernet, which is the parent company for Rapid Compute. And, we used to primarily obviously deal in network solutions. And, so me and another co-founder of mine, Mr. Zaim Arshad, so we used to keep coming with ideas on what to do next because the field of networking was saturating fast. So we thought, with the challenges coming in the Pakistani market, all kind of challenges from data centers to, bijli ka masla, broadband ka masla, so many problems. We felt that, the next big challenge for the tech industry in Pakistan was going to be access to reliable infrastructure, computing infrastructure. कि यार डॉलर भी महंगा हो रहा है, imports are difficult, cost is going up, data centers कम है. So we said, yeah, let's start working along these lines. So 2010, we started developing a platform, and one of the most difficult decisions that we made was at that time we decided not to go with any existing proprietary platform. So back in the day, we were crazy enough to decide that we will build our own Pakistani platform from the ground up, which not anybody else has done since us as well. And we thought कि यार हम in-house in Pakistan, Pakistani cloud stack बनाएंगे so that we can give reliable services to the Pakistani tech sector. So we started off on that crazy journey. 2011 में we launched in May, June 2011. And after spending several $1 million in production, we closed that year with just $70 in revenue. But क्योंकि हम ढीठ लोग थे, so हमने कहा कोई बात नहीं. At least we got here first. At least we got to $70 first. And then, obviously the market, we spent a lot of considerable time and effort in developing the market. मुझे अपनी initial meetings याद है अंजा के it used to be like cloud 101 classes. I would be so used to going to
Wow.
meetings and taking off my jacket and holding a marker and going on the whiteboard or on the glass wall of the CIO or CTO and saying कि जी ऐसा होता है, ये ऐसा होता है, ये ऐसा होता है. Because we had to respect the fact that it was a very nascent technology for Pakistan. So, there was no shame or there was no pride in lack of pride in that. We were okay with, doing the effort to bring people on board. करते करते जी 10 साल हो गए. We today, alhamdulillah, are the largest player by far in this space in Pakistan, at least for the Pakistani market. It's been difficult. I won't say it's been easy because Pakistan is a very difficult market to operate in. Technologies reach here very late. Academic knowledge of technologies reaches her even later. So, for example, आज भी
Right.
universities और colleges में academic courses में cloud का आपको कहीं नामो निशान शायद नहीं मिलेगा. So it's very difficult to tip the market and to make them understand the kind of product that you're selling. फिर उसके साथ अगर आप थोड़ा सा इसको मिला लें कि हम एक पोस्ट कॉलोनियल एरा में रह रहे हैं जहाँ हमें शदीद गोरा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, तो फिर क्योंकि मेरा नाम अमेजोन नहीं है, गूगल नहीं है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट नहीं है, या कोई और गोरा नाम नहीं है, या मेरे बोर्ड पे कोई गोरा नहीं बैठता, तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट तो अच्छा हो ही नहीं सकता. और मजे की बात है, गोरों का मेरे बारे में ख्याल नहीं है. I have tons of customers out in the Middle East and UK and US, and they were never asked me twice about my product. Like जितना local लोग पूछते हैं कि ये product यहाँ की है, बाहर की है, खुद बनाई है, चलेगी कि नहीं चलेगी, बैठ जाएगी, जल जाएगी, फट जाएगी. So that challenge is there. And if you talk, आपने बहुत सारे interviews किए, मैंने देखे. अगर आप अपने पुराने interviewers से भी वापस जाके सवाल पूछेंगे, they'll all reply the same that I am, that this is a significant challenge working in Pakistan. So major obstacle हमारा यही था जो आपने मुझसे सवाल किया था कि uh, being first to the market has its advantages, but also requires a lot of effort in market development and mindset development. तो वही हमारा सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज कल था, एंड माजरत के साथ वही हमारा सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज आज भी है. या
बिल्कुल सही. अच्छा सर, ये the past 2 years have proved something that, with the pandemic and coronavirus, technology has found newfound importance, and cloud-based services in particular, cloudification, um, cloudify. These have become buzzwords. Now we see that there's a lot of potential in cloud, but there are some threats threats that the pandemic brought forward as well. So, not just in terms of opportunity. So, what were these imminent threats? I mean, for most business owners, they are reluctant on putting their data on the cloud because they think that security will be a problem.
देखिए, सवाल आपका वजह है और ठीक है. देखिए, क्लाउड, वही मैं आपको जो when I was answering your question initially, cloud is quite misunderstood even today, and people think that having a
We're
service
back
running
live.
on a public cloud
Right.
or having a
So, what are some of yeah.
yeah. आपकी आवाज कट रही है हमजा.
सर बस मैं आपसे यही पूछ रही थी कि what are some of the imminent opportunities and threats that the cloud services have brought forward as a result of the pandemic?
Sure. So, fair question. देखिए, while I have great sympathy and respect for a lot of my colleagues and counterparts in the IT sector who've had a pretty bad year in terms of IT spend because coronavirus के बाद जो work from home शुरू हुआ या जो business operations scale down हुई है, तो a lot of businesses were affected in the tech sector. बट जितने भी लोग क्लाउड बेस्ड या SaaS बेस्ड या सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस या मैनेज सर्विस बेस्ड वर्टिकल्स में थे, आई थिंक दे विल टेल यू दैट दिस वाज द बेस्ट 18 months of their business life. Even though it was depressing and even they were working from home and life was difficult, but business wise and opportunity wise this was one of the best times ever. उसमें मैं दो तीन तरीके से आपको बताता हूँ. देखें, ये मजाक में आपने मीम्स में तो पढ़ा होगा फेसबुक इंस्टाग्राम में, बट दिस इज एक्चुअली ट्रू that the pandemic has done for digital transformation what people like me could not do in 20 years, very honestly. Because जब हम कोई सर्विस लेके आते हैं, कोई आइडिया लेके आते हैं, तो people are very skeptical about it. By hum, I mean vendors, players in the market, people who work in the industry. But what Corona did was presented a situation which could not be defeated, where people had no choice but to look towards digital transformation at a very accelerated pace. और जब डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एक्सेलरेटेड पेस पे करना पड़ा, तो देयर वाज प्रैक्टिकली ओनली वन बिजनेस मॉडल और टेक्नोलॉजी मॉडल दैट कुड अडैप्ट, एंड दैट वाज द क्लाउड. बिकॉज जब रिटेलर्स को ओवरनाइट या ओवर 10-15 days अपनी ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट सेटअप करनी पड़ी, जब ऑनलाइन बिजनेस शिफ्ट हो गए, जब सब लोग को अपने पोर्टल्स खड़े करने पड़ गए, LMS के, ई लर्निंग के, बाकी चीज़ों के, ये चीज़ एक फिजिकल पे करना ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल है. बिकॉज अगेन कोरोना चल रहा है, आप सर्वर कहाँ से ऑर्डर करेंगे, डेटा सेंटर में जगह कहाँ से बनवाएंगे, नए कंप्यूटर रूम्स कहाँ से बनवाएंगे. सो द ओनली वे 99.9% of these companies could do this was use a cloud service provider. which is why companies like ours, AWS, Google, Microsoft, even local other smaller VPS players, they saw a lot of opportunity. And all of us combined as an industry, I'll tell you, हमें credit नहीं मिलता. We as an industry did a lot to help out a lot of people during the pandemic. So for example, अगर आप सिर्फ मेरे इदारे की बात करें, तो we for about 6 months had given absolutely free of cost services to the government sector because they were working in healthcare, in the education sector because they had wanted to go live with e-classes, healthcare, government sector, e-governance, NGOs working in this field. We gave absolutely free of cost services for close to 6-7 months because they at that time had no budgets, they had no idea how to do this. So we actually helped them get on the road through the cloud services. और फिर जारी बात है, फायदा ये हुआ कि फिनटेक का बूम भी उसी वक्त आ गया, तो कोरोना के मजे हो गए, मतलब में मजे हो गए, वो डिजिटल पेमेंट्स का बूम आ गया, डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन की बूम आ गई, तो जारी बात है उससे भी हमने बहुत फायदा उठाया. लेकिन देखिए इसका एक डाउन साइड भी है, थ्रेट्स भी थे. तो फॉर एग्जांपल पाकिस्तान का एज ए टेक सेक्टर ना, सिक्योरिटी पॉस्चर बहुत वीक है इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी का. ये मैं नहीं कह रहा, ये गार्टर की रिपोर्ट से लेके कोई भी रिपोर्ट पढ़ लो, उसमें हम बहुत लो रैंक करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ आवर इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी रेडीनेस. सो हुआ ये कि वैसे ही हमारे यहाँ इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी पे फोकस नहीं था, तो बहुत सारे इदारे जब ओवरनाइट, अच्छा व्हेन आई से ओवरनाइट ऑब्वियसली यू अंडरस्टैंड, आई डोंट मीन लिटरली, बट जब ओवरनाइट वो ऑनलाइन गए या डिजिटल गए, so security became the last thing on their mind, and they didn't realize that now that they are going public, they're actually exposing their systems to people and hackers and stuff that were never first visible to them. तो threats ये भी बहुत आई कि हम जैसे कंपनियों के ऊपर additional load ये बहुत आ गया to advise and to suggest and to rectify a lot of the loopholes and mistakes and openings for threat that our customers had kept for these malicious attackers. So बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग थे जो अपनी e-commerce storefronts online लेके गए in a rush to not lose business because of the lockdown. लेकिन they got attacked and hacked within the first 10-15 days because they had not considered security controls because they had never had to worry about that before. इस तरह बहुत सारे ऐसे हेल्थ केयर इदारे थे, बहुत सारे ऐसे गवर्नमेंट इदारे थे, आपने देखा होगा, जिनकी वेबसाइट डिफेस हो गई, इंडियन हैकर्स, बाकी हैकर्स ने खराब कर दी. तो इस किस्म की थ्रेट्स भी बहुत आई. लेकिन ये मैं अश्योर कर दूं कि इन थ्रेट्स का शुरू में जो सोच थी, इसका क्लाउड से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है. क्लाउड इज जस्ट अ रिप्लेसमेंट फॉर योर इकोसिस्टम. कल वो इकोसिस्टम आपके दफ्तर में था, आज वो इकोसिस्टम मेरे पास है. उसका आपकी कंट्रोल्स और आपकी सिक्योरिटी पॉस्चर से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है. शुरू में बहुत गालियां पड़ी, अभी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, बिकॉज एवरीबॉडी थॉट के जो हैकिंग हो रही है, जो खराबी हो रही है, वो मेरी वजह से हो रही है. तो मेरी तस्वीरों पे लोग शायद गोलियां मारते होंगे, लेकिन eventually people realized that we had nothing to do with it. I mean, cloud providers. And so people have now understood that we are an enabler and we are not a threat, thankfully. 18 महीने लग गए pandemic के, but now people know that people like us are there to help and help them, take advantage of this opportunity that all of them have had. So yeah, that's the opportunity and threat.
Right. Right. Acha sir, regardless of the efforts by the government and the private sector, like one fact that we did see during the pandemic was that there's a massive digital divide in this country. Because you can talk about the cloud, you can talk about a lot of services, but the truth of the matter is that regardless of whether we're in Karachi, Lahore, or Islamabad, fine, schools भी चलते रहे, अस्पताल भी चलते रहे, but there are areas जहाँ पे आप 4G Wi-Fi तो दूर की बात है, सिर्फ 2G भी नहीं आता across Pakistan, and that makes very big area. What are your comments on this? And as a pioneer in this technology and as the owner of Rapid Compute, how can this digital divide be overcome?
देखिए, that's a very important point that you've touched on. देखिए, अगर आप 50 साल पहले चले जाए ना, तो जब छोटे शहरों में या एडजेसेंट शहरों में तरक्की लानी होती थी ना, तो आपको शायद याद होगा, कहते थे कि रोड और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से तरक्की आती है.
जी, कैन यू हियर मी?
क्योंकि जब रोड बनते थे और जब ट्रैवलिंग होती थी, तो छोटे शहरों में तरक्की आती थी, तो छोटे शहर बड़े शहर की तरह तरक्की करते थे. आप वही मेटाफोर को चेंज करते हैं, आज दैट रोड इज ब्रॉडबैंड. Any country that wants to see equal distribution of technology and welfare between all its cities needs to have a very robust broadband system. And I have a front row seat on that because I am under the same umbrella as CyberNet, which is the largest FTTH provider in the country. And we are right now putting fiber in close to 36 to 40 cities of Pakistan, both for consumers and for corporates, because we realize that जो भी हम ख्वाब डिजिटल देख रहे हैं, चाहे वो ब्रॉडबैंड हो, वो ई लर्निंग हो, वो ई गवर्नमेंट हो, वो जनरल एंटरटेनमेंट हो हमारे घर वालों के पास ऑन इंटरनेट, वो क्लाउड सर्विसेज हो, वो गेमिंग हो, वो कुछ भी हो, दैट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू डू विदाउट क्वालिटी इंटरनेट एंड ब्रॉडबैंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. जब मैं अपने रोड शोज फैसलाबाद में, या एंड फैसलाबाद इज नॉट अ स्मॉल सिटी, इट्स अ वेरी बिग सिटी, जब मैं अपने रोड शोज फैसलाबाद में करता हूँ, गुजरावाले में करता हूँ, मुल्तान में करता हूँ, and I did this before the pandemic, which is 2019. The biggest problem they had was they said, fine, we know you, we know Amazon, we know Google, we know Microsoft. The problem is हमारे पास reliable connectivity नहीं है. So if our data and our systems are on the cloud abroad or even on your data center, how do we reliably access it? And how can we make use of it to run our systems and our factories and our businesses? That is exactly the problem. अब आप वही चीज हर हिस्से में आप सोच सकती हैं. E-learning hasn't taken up because उन शहरों में घरों पे reliable 4G 3G और broadband DSL fiber नहीं है. So अगर आप e-learning करेंगे तो बच्चे क्लासेस कैसे लेंगे, असाइनमेंट्स कैसे अपलोड करेंगे, वीडियोस कैसे देखेंगे. वहां पर ई गवर्नेंस पुअर है, अगेन बिकॉज डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी नहीं है. वहां ई हेल्थ, वहां कुछ भी आप ले लें, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज द बेसिक रेल रोड फॉर ब्रॉडबैंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर does not exist within the country, and that is exactly the problem that's happening. So आपको पता है इसके बहुत सारे चैंपियंस हैं आईसीटी की दुनिया में. परवेज इफ्तिखार साहब रहे यूएसएफ में आईसीटी आरएनडी फंड में अभी, एंड और भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं, लोकल प्लेयर्स लाइक साइबरनेट, नयाटेल, मल्टीनेट. सो मेनी पीपल आर ट्राइंग सो हार्ड, द टेलकोज आर ट्राइंग वेरी हार्ड. As long as the government and the private sector both do not combine uh, their efforts to increase the broadband penetration across all the cities, बड़े छोटे शहर सब मिला के in Pakistan, you will not see much change in the situation, and you will not see them catching up to the level of all these other people of all these bigger cities because broadband नहीं है. So मेरा सवाल बड़ा simple है. As the owner of RapidCompute, as someone who's been working with CyberNet, ब्रॉडबैंड की पेनिट्रेशन बड़े छोटे शहरों में जब पाकिस्तान में हो जाएगी, चाहे वो फाइबर के थ्रू हो, डीएसएल हो या 3G 4G हो, यू विल स्टार्ट सीइंग द डिजिटल डिवाइड क्लोज सो फास्ट कि आप रियलाइज ये करेंगे कि यार जो चीजें काम के लिए, पढ़ाई के लिए, गवर्नेंस के लिए और एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए कराची, लाहौर, इस्लामाबाद में होती है, वही सारी छोटे शहरों में भी होने लग जाएंगी. द की इज ब्रॉडबैंड पेनिट्रेशन हर काम के लिए, चाहे वो क्लाउड हो या कुछ और हो. हमजा, आपका इंटरनेट, आपकी आवाज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही है, आप कट कट के वीडियो और वो आ रही है. हेलो, आई couldn't hear you.
जी,
आपकी
can you
आवाज
hear me
बहुत
now?
टूट रही थी. जी जी, I can hear you now. Can you repeat your question, please?
Hello?
जी जी, आपको आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
जी, can you hear me now?
जी. Yep.
Sir, just पूछना चाह रही थी, what do you think is the future of cloud-based services in Pakistan?
देखिए क्लाउड का फ्यूचर पाकिस्तान में आई थिंक इट्स अ लॉट मोर रेलेवेंट एंड ब्राइटर देन अ लॉट ऑफ अदर एडजेसेंट कंट्रीज। उसका रीजन ये है कि जो हमारी यूनिक चैलेंजेस हैं पाकिस्तान में आईटी सेक्टर की, क्लाउड इज अ सोल्यूशन और सॉल्व टू अ लॉट ऑफ दोज वुंड्स। सो फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे मुल्क में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कॉस्ट ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज अ बिग इशू। The cloud kind of helps you in a large way on that in building your own infrastructure. आपको नहीं करना पड़ता. Then real estate, quality real estate is very expensive in Pakistan. So, building data centers and stuff, again, expensive cost. These are challenges unique to us. Then broadband access, connectivity, reliability. That's a challenge that, cloud solves. Then access to quality, HR, which is again scarce in the country. That's a challenge that cloud solves. And इसी तरह की बहुत information security, for example. So the kind of information security services that cloud providers like myself and Amazon and Google and all offer, these are things that companies have to go through considerable effort if they have to do it in-house. Then so many compliances, regulations. ये जितने भी यूनिक challenges हैं हमारे, उसके बहुत सारे issues को बहुत easily address कर लेता है cloud service provider. So I see going forward when more and more companies become more and more tech savvy, as more and more newer generations are taking the lead in companies in IT, I will see more and more people opting to go towards cloud service providers from the start rather than setting up infrastructures of their own. So मैं आपको बताऊं पिछले 2 साल में जितने भी नए फिनटेक्स और जितने भी नए ये ई कॉम बेस्ड या टेक बेस्ड कंपनियां खड़ी हुई हैं, इन सब ने अपने दफ्तरों में कोई डेटा सेंटर कोई सर्वर नहीं लगाए हुए. ऑल ऑफ देम built on AWS, built on rapid compute, built on Google Cloud, and just completely disregarded that element कि यार जिंदगी में कभी इस किस्म की हायरिंग या इस किस्म की डेटा सेंटर कंस्ट्रक्शन या बिजली या जनरेटर या कोई ऐसी चीज करनी भी है. सो बिकॉज हमारे चैलेंजेस यूनिक है. अब मैंने तो डॉलर की तो बात भी नहीं की कि विद आवर फ्लक्चुएटिंग रुपी, the cost of importing equipment and buying licenses and doing all of these things. So I think the future of cloud is very bright. It is the exact same great scenario in countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, Nepal, Sri Lanka, even India, because our challenges are quite similar. So I think cloud is here to stay, which is why
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that 10 years ago I took the decision to do this crazy thing.
Amazing, sir. You are an inspiration, definitely. Sir, unfortunately, we've reached the end of today's session,
Sure,
but just,
sure.
quick, brief questions right now. What is the best piece of advice that you personally have ever gotten?
देखिए, two advices I always got, and they've helped me out in different times of my career in Rapid Compute. The first
G.
one was don't give up too soon. My CEO would tell me all the time. He said, "Don't give up too soon. Don't give up too soon. Don't lose heart." Because जब हमने millions of dollars खर्च किए और पहले साल $70 कमाए, तो यकीन करें बहुत शर्मिंदगी हुई. किसी ने शर्मिंदगी दिलाई नहीं, खुद शर्मिंदगी हो गई कि $70 अर्न किए इतने मिलियन खर्च करने के बाद. But our CEO kept telling me and my co-founder Zaim, keep your chin up, don't lose heart. It's always difficult in the start. Keep pushing ahead. This will pick up. So that's one, and that's what I tell everybody in my team. Don't quit too soon. Take your time. Things will pick up. And number two, when we got successful 4 or 5 years ago, and alhamdulillah, we became a multi-million dollar company. Um, the one thing he kept telling us every year when we would meet for a board meeting or something was stay humble, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble. मेरा इस साल भी दिसंबर में जब appraisal हुआ, the board told me one thing. The message the board told me was when I was getting up, he said, "Imran, remember, stay humble. Humility is key. Just because you're successful doesn't mean you have to stop being the best at what you are and putting in effort." So I think for anybody out there, don't give up too soon and be very humble when you make it.
Very true. Thank you so much for that lovely advice. So, what do you think is the utility of forums like CxO Global?
I think Pakistan में एक बड़ा अलमिया ये है कि there are no forums in general if you want to discuss anything positive. Negative forums बहुत मिलेंगे. अभी Facebook पे जाके लिखें scam update से लेके हर चीज का forum बना हुआ है. लेकिन there are no positive forums, and I think Kaval and everybody else at CxO Global Forum, and I think it's a great platform. I have tons of friends who are on the platform and also enjoy the experience of talking to thought leaders every day. And I think that this helps us have a united vision. I know बहुत लोगों को इस फोरम से डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट फायदा भी हुआ है. People have taken advice from leaders on this forum. People have taken advice when setting up new initiatives and startups on this forum. So I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I was genuinely very skeptical when this idea was around a year and a half ago and everything. कि यार, I don't know लोग adopt करेंगे, but then I think आपको भी फायदा COVID का बहुत हुआ कि everybody started conversing on the forum. So I think it's wonderful. I really do hope you guys
Yes.
go from strength to strength, and you do a wonderful job. I think it's a great initiative.
Thank you very much, sir, for the kind words. And this has been a learning experience, to say the least. We would like for you to keep contributing to the knowledge economy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today from Imran and I. If you want to know more about the amazing work that Rapid Compute is doing, please, check the links in the description or write to us. We keep us updated with your comments and feedback. We'll see you next time with another special guest. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.